Hi, I'm Connie Albers. I've been in the homeschooling movement now for 28 years, and I had the privilege of homeschooling all 5 of my children. After my last child graduated, I continued to stay in the homeschooling movement. So we have been involved in this movement for 28 years. It's been such a joy to watch how we went from the time when I began, would take my children to the library, send my little one to the children's section to get some books so they could read, and turn around and see him escorted by 2 police officers who come up to me and they're saying, "Ma'am, is this your child?" And I'm thinking, what has happened with my son? And I said, yes. And he says, why is he here? Why isn't he in school? I said, because we homeschool. And he goes, no, he's truant. And I said, no, we homeschool. So those were the days when I began. And fast forward all these years as we've worked and labored to fight for the rights to homeschool and be able to get your children into sports and theater and drama and all the wonderful things we've been able to do, as well as get them into colleges and set that academic bar high so that colleges wanted homeschool kids. They realized that kids did well if they were in the homeschool environment. It was a smaller ratio of teaching and parent-student relationships, and that was so exciting to be able to see. Every homeschooler's journey is going to be a little different. Why they're homeschooling. Some homeschoolers homeschool because they don't want their children in the public school, or maybe they can't afford the private school, or maybe they have a religious conviction and they really want to impart their faith and their values to their children. And for some, there's learning issues. They have struggling learners, or maybe they travel a lot. And they want the freedom that is afforded a homeschooler's lifestyle, for a homeschool family. So we kind of had a little bit of all of that in our family. For me, my children, I wasn't necessarily thinking I was going to homeschool. I was kind of a career woman. I had the benefit of having a wonderful job prior to having my children. And then I felt, my husband asked me if I would prayerfully consider homeschooling my children. And he pulled the God card on me, because he said, would you prayerfully consider homeschooling? And I'm like, I asked the Lord to answer all of my prayers. I make those requests to him. And I thought, I need to listen to this. I need to pray about it. I had a clause. I said, listen, if it doesn't work, because I'm not a teacher, I don't know how to teach phonics, I don't know calculus. They're in kindergarten, and I'm thinking, I don't know how to do calculus or physics. What am I going to do? And so he said, just pray about it. And I said, okay. I said, here's the deal. If it stops working, I can put him in school. He says, no problem. Now this is where the story gets a little funny, because I will say, I probably called the school system every 3 months to see if there was a discount for getting kids into private school. He says, I called every week, which probably in the middle is the truth. It was an adjustment. When you make a commitment to educate your child, you're really taking on a lot of responsibility, and that can be overwhelming because there's so much out there. So fast forward, the first year worked wonderful. And then, remember I said I had 5 children in 7 years. So the babies kept coming, which was great. But it kept working, and I kept saying, okay, we're going to go through elementary school, but come middle school, I don't know what to do with them. So they're going to go away to middle school. Then middle school came, and I went, now the hormones are kicking in, and they don't know what they want to do, and the bullying had really started taking a hold, and it really started to become an issue in the school system at that point. And I said, I'll do middle school, but then high school, for sure, they're going in because of sports and music and all that wonderful opportunities that they had. Well, here came high school, and I thought, now they're becoming normal. So why would I send them now? Okay, let's just finish it off. But our family was we really wanted to create a place of identity, because kids need to identify with something. We are created and designed for a relationship. First with the Lord, and then with each other. So why are gangs so prevalent? Kids look to fit in. They want to belong to something. And as I tell parents, if it's not with you, then who? So mom and dad, you want to have a relationship with your child. So in order to have that relationship, you have to be fully present. Does that mean 24/7? Well, we can't be 24/7 because we have jobs to do and we have other responsibilities to fulfill. However, we can be fully present. And that's what the homeschool journey is about. It's about being there with your kids. It's about learning with your children. It's about teaching them the love of learning. It's about understanding who they are and how God made them and what calling does God have on their life. And how can you help facilitate that? How can you take that brick and lay one brick after another for that artistic child? Or that engineering child, or the child who is just a friend to everybody, and you can tell you have got ability to connect with people, and you are a relator. How do you create and tailor make an education just for that child? Well, that's what homeschooling did. That's what homeschooling did for our family. Having 5 children meant 5 very different personalities: introvert, extrovert, feelers, thinkers, intuitive, the artistic, the kids that are great in math, the kids that could create beauty beyond something I could ever imagine. But as the mom, for me and for my husband, we were able to kind of make note. And I created a chart one time, and I actually still have it. It was called Albers in Action. And so on that, I'd put, what's their love language? How can I make them feel loved? Because remember, we're created for a relationship. I wanted to know, how can I show you love in a way that you're going to receive it? Sometimes you think, what I'm saying, you're just not hearing, right? That happens to all of us. We're saying one thing and our child hears something else, or our child says something and we hear something completely different. And the exciting thing about that is you can start to speak in a way that they hear you, because you have the time to listen. As I am sitting in where I am now, having 5 graduates and 5 children that have gone through college, I can sit here and tell the younger moms from the perspective of, yes, academics is important, because they do have to take a job and provide a living and take their part in society. And they're going to be salt and light in a world. How do they do that? Well, you do have to equip them academically. But if you have a child who they're not naturally bent toward calculus, more than likely they're not going to become an engineer. If you have a child who can see beauty in things that you and I can't just normally see, they're going to tell a story, God's story. They're going to show the world the beauty of God's creation. They're going to show the world the love that God has through nature, through other people, through simple stories. And you get a front row seat to this. You get the opportunity to show them there's hope, there's encouragement, there's beauty. You get the opportunity to teach your child how to love others, and how to hear others, and how to have empathy for others, and how to have that hand stretched out so that they're reaching out and helping someone who is in need. And at the same time, their hand is reached forward saying, listen, I just need help up the next step. I just need to get through this algebra problem. If I can just pass algebra, if I can just master this paragraph or this sentence structure if I can just do that. And you are able, as a parent in the homeschool environment, to do that. You have the desire to see them succeed. No one's going to have that greater than mom or dad. You know, kids are looking to be heard. They're looking to be understood. They need you, mom and dad, to understand what they're dealing with. Kids nowadays, they have pressure like we've never seen before. They're the most studied group in history. Every photo is logged that they post on social media. Every phrase is captured. Between the social giants of Google and Facebook and all those monsters, they're really wanting to know exactly what your kids do, where they go, how long they spend time on it. They're really wanting to hook children so that they become reliant and almost addicted to the devices. And devices, in many ways, is disrupting and destroying family relationships and one-on-one conversations. Just talking to your child. How many times have our children, for those of you that have children that are old enough to have a device of some sort, you're sitting there and you see your child kind of looking down, and they feel the buzz in their pocket or the ping, and they glance down and you think, like, they can't tell what you're doing. It's like, kids, mom and dad know this, and you're looking down. But the pressure for your children to be able to respond to those text messages right away. They suffer severely from FOMO, fear of missing out. It's huge, and it's not going to go away. But the beauty is, technology isn't all bad. And as a homeschool mom and dad, you're able to help walk them through how to control it, how to say no, watch what those sites that they're going on, see and monitor who's keeping tabs on them, check for hidden apps on their devices. Help them be able to say no and unplug and use it wisely. But more importantly, help them to have a positive social footprint. Because honestly, colleges now, 40% of colleges look at your child's social footprint before they decide what are they posting, before they decide if they're going to admit your child into their college. They want your kids to use social media. They want them to have a positive influence. They want them to be the changers of the world that they're going to be. Your kids are going to be changing and shaping and influencing the next generation. And as a homeschool parent, you get to have that time of talking about it. That window of time is very short. Because as they hit the teen years, they start relying less on mommy. They want mom, but they start looking to those friends. And they can Google everything and Surrey and check it, but they can't get the relationship that they can have with their parents that comes from doing life together. So I often tell parents, the beauty of homeschooling is you get to do life with your children. You get to explore who they are and what they get to be. You get to form these relationships, because parenting doesn't end at 18. Sure, you don't have that same control, but you have the relationship. And I tell parents all the time, if you don't have a relationship, you don't have the influence. If you want to shape and influence your child well past high school days and in college and beyond, you have to have a relationship. When you have a relationship, you have an influence. And when you have an influence, then you have trust and you can speak into their lives. They will want to come and hear what you want to say to them, because they know if they come to you, you're not going to freak out on them. You're going to listen to them, and they want to be heard. That's why they seek out so many outside relationships. They want to connect with someone. Let that someone be you. And that's what homeschooling is able to do. So after 21 years of homeschooling, and we turned the tassel for the last time, I thought, wow, the parenting journey's over. Well, not so much, because we desire to have a relationship beyond homeschooling, beyond 18 years old. So for our family, our first child, when he graduated, he decided to go to a major university. The cool part for him is he got academic scholarship, he had some national merit money, and he was able to go to a state college. Now, what was important for us, because there were three things that was important to our family, and every decision we made, and for every mom and dad out there, they will have to find out, what is your why for homeschooling? So for us, it was that our children would love the Lord. that our children would want to do life with us. Notice that I'm saying do life, because I don't believe that we stop. We want this to continue. And we wanted them to have a heart and a passion for their community. Find a cause that's really important to you, whether it's missions work or human trafficking or whatever that might be, but we wanted them to have that. So our first child graduated, went to the university that is near us. It was really important for us that they kind of stay in the same thing because we've cultivated a family. They love doing life together. So for us, go to this local college. Let's not go in debt for college. There's no need to. So he went to college. The next year, another one graduated. She went to the same university, got academic scholarships. She and her brother are going through college together. They're not studying the same things. They're very different people. A year and a half after that, here comes the next child. So for 11 straight years, we've had children in college. 9 of those years, we've had 2 or 3 in college. And right now, all 5 will graduate with no student loans, 0 debt, and we had no college prepaid programs. They all went to the same university. So in many ways, they had the college experience together. They had a ball. They did intramural sports, and they played basketball and soccer, and they were mentors, and they just did a lot of fun things together, going to the football games because it was a big state university. So that's part of our story, and I love to share that with parents because they think about, we're beginning homeschooling, we're thinking, how will I ever get them into college? Will they be smart enough to get into college? Can we afford college? And I'm here to tell you, you can get them in college. You can get them through college, and you don't have to go broke through the process. And your children come outside of that and they are debt-free, which means they're able to enter the marketplace without having thousands and tens of thousands of dollars in debt. And it's a freeing experience. So homeschooling itself fosters the relationship and the strengths and the beauty of developing and creating a human being so that they could be the people God's created them to be. Not human doings where we're running all over the place and we have no time and we've got so many activities slated in our day that everything is just hurry, 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 hurry. We have the opportunity to slow it down. Homeschooling isn't an easy journey. You're taking on the responsibility of not only raising a child, but you're educating them and you're preparing them, and you have to deal with their attitudes and you have to deal with their personalities and their quirky personalities. And for me, when my husband asked me to consider homeschooling, there was never a time that he wavered in support of me. And I will say to the dads, your support of your wives in this endeavor, you backing her up, even if you're not quite sure she's doing it right, but you backing your wife and telling her you believe that she can do this. You help it, you supporting her, you're helping her around the house. Maybe you even help with school subjects that she doesn't feel comfortable with, that you have skills in. Your support in her helps her. And for me, my husband's support kept me going. I think I shared how I would call the school system because it was hard. I'm like, can I just send them anywhere? I just can't do this. And he would always bring me back. And he'd always say, you can do this. You can do this. Just get up the next day and do the next thing. And then do the next thing. And then enjoy the weekend. And day after day, after week, after week, after year, and we turned the tassel after 21 years, my husband was still saying, you can do this. It's going to be hard. And when you have a bad day, go outside and play. Go play kickball, go to the pool, go for a hike, go for a nature walk, do something, a field trip, take a day off. Every day doesn't have to be chock full of academics. I always tell parents, have fun. Moms and dads, they're the primary creator of their childhood's memories. Your child has one childhood. Make it fun, make it memorable.